Mandy, you probably have many, but can you share a memorable story about your time on the GR4? One that sticks out really well in your mind?
Um, yeah, I mean, I share it in my book actually, but one of the big ones for me was we were on. It was my last time out in the Gulf, and we were coming back to base. I was going home the next day, and I was leading a four ship,
Wow.
and we got engaged by a surface-to-air missile, and it was right. It was a really unusual place because the sort of main roads between Al Basra in the south east corner and Baghdad, those main routes were always busy, and there's quite a few surface-to-air missiles dotted around. Lots of AAA, the anti-aircraft artillery sites as well. But once you got along the Saudi Arabia border, there was like very little there.
Yeah,
And there hadn't been for months, and nothing had happened. And so we started to relax. We're going home. We're starting to, take out the program of we're in a high threat environment. And that's literally when someone, blooming well, launched a surface-to-air missile at us. And it was in a heat-seeking mode, so we didn't get all of the normal radar returns that you would get that it's looking at you. And yeah, I mean, my nav was absolutely brilliant. He happened to spot it. We did the maneuver that we've been taught so many times. We put our flares out, and the missile took the flares, and it exploded a few miles away from us. But then the whole complexity of the mission changed because, we radioed through what had happened, and the way it works out there is that once an aggressive act made towards any one of the aircraft, you are then entitled in some ways to go and prosecute an attack on a target that you're carrying.
Okay.
And that has to be cleared obviously through the chain of command. So we contacted the commander who's in the AWACS aircraft. He told us to stand by. Everyone is suddenly on red alert now, but it's right at the end of the mission and we're running out of fuel. So, we have to go and find a tanker down in Saudi Arabia. And the complexity just kept on spiraling. The weather was deteriorating. There was a bit of a sandstorm around.
Oh, no.
And really, it's almost like this, all of the little, holes in the Swiss cheese were starting to align. But
Yeah.
it was a complex mission. And, we did destroy the target that we were given that night.
Hmm.
But there were so many little twists and turns that I share, in much more detail in my book. But it was, that was certainly a very memorable night.
Wow, that does sound quite intense. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Mandy, how many hours did you get on the GR4?
I got about 1,000, just under 1,000 hours, which is such a shame because I didn't get my 1,000-hour badge, which was gutted about. But so I was just coming up to the end of my tour when I got pregnant, basically. And you can't fly when you're pregnant. So I then went into a second line job at Boscombe Down after I'd had my children, which was fantastic. And so I did a tour down at Boscombe Down for that then.